is happening? Welcome to my channel. My name is Matt Bradford. Today's gonna go bad. We know that already. Compressors are misunderstood. They are, people have a lot of opinions about them. I'm gonna show you how I use them. I'm gonna show you my understanding of them. I'm gonna show you what I look for in compressors. This is my opinion. That is it. We have some fancy compressors. We have some less fancy compressors. But I want to start here. Okay, first things first, before we do anything else. Patreon. Join me on Patreon if you want to support the channel. The backing track from the beginning is on there. I might start doing some giveaways and stuff if we get to, you know, enough followers. And yeah, if you're doing lap steel lessons, then there's going to be lap steel stuff, you know, lesson materials on there as well. But even if you just like the channel, it's $5 a month. It helps me do this more. That's my plan. So, I'm using today my Cat. I'm using my Apocalypse Machine lap steel. This is a cedar body, Fralin P90, Righteous Sound Bluebird. I'm going into the compressor. I'll be going through a bunch of compressors later, but into the compressor and then into that's my cat. He's the pain in the ass one. And then into the 79 Deluxe Reverb. No, not Deluxe, Vibrolux Reverb. The tremolo is off, but I'm in the tremolo channel to get a little bit of reverb. And I have a 12AU7 in the first preamp position because that makes it a little cleaner. I have it on 5 on the volume to make it a little cleaner. Bright switch is off, treble's on 6, bass is on 4. Okay. So, let's talk compressors. Here's my clean tone. Andy, shout out to Andy. Okay, and then here's my compressor tone. To me, the compressor tone is much nicer. It's a little louder, which is not how I like to set it. So let's talk about setting compressors. That's step one. How do I set my compressors? I start with trying to get my input and my output where I want them to be. This is going to set my level of compression. The reason, this is an Empress Compressor Mark II. The reason I'm starting with this one is really simple. It has all the controls that I want on a compressor, so I can show you what different stuff is happening. And then on top of that, it has the meter on the side here. It has some damage on it because this is the one that's been on my board for quite a while. I want to test it against the Cali76 Stacked Edition to see what's going to go on my board going forward. So let's start with this. The way I like to set it, I like to see you know, a little bit of compression. We're trying to get some compression going, but I don't want to see it like coming all the way down here. You know, past sort of like 10 dB. That's a lot of compression already. I don't mind having a lot of compression. I'll show you why in a second. But also, you know, we have stuff. So I have the input and the output, and I can set the input. It's 4 dB right now. And that's actually really nice. So the first thing I'm looking for is volume. I'm looking for my volume to be the same when I step on the compressor and when I don't. Now, compressors change your dynamics, so I'm looking for the volume to be the same when I hit it as hard as I can. Okay? That seems about the same. And you can't check it. You can't check it on the decay, because my decayed note is going to get fatter. So let me set my tone straight up while we do this too. So it changes everything. So I'm really got to focus on the attack of the note and get my compression where I want it, volume wise. I'm getting about 8 dB of compression, which is lovely, okay? So input and output are going to give me the amount of compression. If I raise my input, then I'm going to get more compression. but it's way louder, as you can see, so I'd have to reduce my output to compensate. I'm not going to do that. I want to get it back to where it was. Cool. I've like messed it up. Pretty close. Okay, so we're back. This is how I set compressors. It's gonna be a long video, I'm sorry in advance. So, we have these knobs, attack and release. Okay, hopefully that was clear. Input and output, hopefully is clear. The more input, the more compression, and then I'm gonna compensate for, by the time it goes through the entire circuit, the output is gonna be the end. And this works for, you know, a 76 that you have on a DAW, or, you know, a hardware one or whatever. This works for all compressors. Your input is going to be eventually how much signal is getting compressed. Your output is going to be compensating for all of the gain changes. And so that's really key. Now, this is the often misunderstood part of compressors. Well, I mean, there's so many misunderstood things, but there's attack and release. And your attack knob is kind of the key. The release is important too, but the attack knob is the key to how compressors sound for me. And so, there's a couple things. There's a reason that I don't have Dynacomps, because the attack knob on a Dynacomp is set to be really squishy. Now I think that's the fast attack. Let's see. Yeah, that's the fast attack. So, and our mix is all the way up. Okay, good. So, like, that's a really squishy sound. And it's kind of killing some of my dynamics in a way that I don't like. Right? You can hear it just like grabbing, and then to me at least I can feel it. Versus if I go all the way to the other side, I'm not getting enough compression. What the attack knob is doing is how quick after the initial transient, right? After the initial attack, after the initial thing you're seeing, is this recording? Okay, good. That, you know, how quickly is the compressor gonna grab? What I like to do is something that my buddy Tim Hatayama showed me. I think it was Tim that showed me it. He's great. He's a serious mixing guy, and I really appreciate him and know him a lot. Is I like to just set the attack as fast as possible, and then slowly back it off until I feel the compressor kind of bloom and do what I want it to do. So you can hear how tight that is. Let's move it a little bit. And you can hear the difference, right? Versus, like, that's not letting that note speak the same way it is when it's here. Might even go a little more. Now I'm still getting the sustain, right? You can see, but I have this attack that feels a little more natural, which is pretty great. Your release time, you can see it here, right? How quick the compressor lets go. Now this is maximum release time. You can see how slowly that compressor is letting go of that knob, and then here's your fastest release time, right, where it's barely. It's giving me some sustain, but not a ton. If I turn it all the way up, tons of sustain. But it's once again crushing my dynamic, because now it's still compressing from the previous note before it gets to the next note. So this, I like to go the opposite way. I like to start, you know, pretty slow, and then, I mean, can you hear the difference in there? I can. Versus, annoying cat. I'm coming to kick you out of here in a second. Here's the terror, the tiny terror, right here. His name's Enzo, and he's a terror. Yeah? Are you being a terror? So, ow! So, he's probably gonna turn the lights off again. It'll be great. Does that make sense? I kind of have... Oh. I'm trying to play the same thing just so I can hear the differences, but, you know, it's just the way the guitar is responding to me in this moment. So this is fattening everything up. It's making it pretty cool. Let's do this, though. Let's make it too compressed real quick. Right, you can hear how squishy that is. Maybe we'll let's get even wilder. Okay. You can hear how overcompressed that is, I hope. Like it's so, like it's robbed of all its life. This is about to overheat, so I hope we're gonna get done before that happens. What I look for in every compressor I get is this mix knob, because I can adjust, if I mix half, okay, so this halfway, I'm assuming it's half dry signal and half compressed signal. Now, I still have my attack from my dry signal, right, and then that overly compressed signal starts to be really cool. We call that parallel compression. So I would rather have like a blend knob, which we're gonna see on the other on the less expensive compressors I have, than a like a sustain knob, like on a Dynacomp. So this is blending in my dry signal, which now allows me to have that natural attack, and then I can still have that compression. Right? No dry signal. You can hear there's all that like at the bottom. Some dry signal. How about even just like a quarter dry signal? Or a third, whatever that is. Like the difference to me is remarkable. So that's what I'm looking for. And then finally you have a tone control. We have a ratio. You know, ratio is how much the compression's happening, blah, blah. Sidechain is going to let in some low end. This is allowing my low end to not hit the compressor as hard as my high end. These are all like really advanced things we don't need to worry about for the context of this video. So let's stop looking at how a compressor works. Although this is super fun, and I hope that made sense and at least helps you understand what you're doing when you're setting your compressors. And let's start comparing some different compressors after I murder my cats. And we are back. So check it out. Obviously, different camera angle over here. I've got 5 compressors set up. I have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to compressors. Let's start on this side of the pedal board. You can see that there's the SP compressor and then this random red box that's not labeled. That is a build-your-own clone orange squeezer, I think. Orange peel, orange something. It's the orange something. I'll figure it out and I'll put it up here. But I built that one. And these both have a sort of set compression and then a blend knob. Now the SP has 3 settings, high, mid, low. I have it on low, but let's check out all 3 settings real quick. So look, 1 and 2, and I'm sure they're labeled, whatever. I'll have them labeled on the video. But SP and orange whatever. Okay, here's the SP. Okay, mid. And then high. Now you can see where my blend knob is in the video. Man, that's way too much compression for me. I like it on low. These are, I went through and set all these kind of where I wanted them before I started filming. My eye's itching. Okay. So, but here's the SP where I would set it. Right? Without it. Okay, so there's that. And by the way, I tried to get them all the same volume. This is an old audio trick if you weren't aware of it, but louder always sounds better to the human ear, as long as it's not making you bleed, obviously. But like louder sounds better. So a lot of old audio stores, hi-fi stores will try to trick you by making the fancier stereos, for example, like 0.2 dB louder. So when you switch to it, you go, oh, wow, that's way better. I've tried to get these as volume matched as possible. Obviously, there's a lot of dynamic changes, where I'm playing on the neck, all that stuff matters. So what I really did was I tried to get them all dialed in at that right there to have that level the same. But there we are. Okay, so the SP compressor sounds like this. And the build your own clone one. It's a little darker. It's missing a little bit of that high end. But to me, I actually like the body of it better. Let's see. I definitely like the body of this one better. The high end here is better, but I don't miss it so much. I want to add a little more verb. Good old Fenders. Okay, we went from 2 to 2.5 on the verb knob, and there we are. Now, let's put it in playing context, right? Because that's... Why is it? Oh, I see. So I'm about to lose battery on the pedal cam. Cool. Let's put it in playing context real quick, and then I'll change the battery on this one. Because this is really where it matters, right? So immediately for me, I'll turn you off because we're gonna, I know, we gotta replace your battery, I understand. Immediately for me, I felt like as soon as there's other instruments and stuff going on, I liked where the orange guy was putting us. But again, these are the less expensive, the less fancy, for me, the less usable pedals. So let me change some batteries, and then we're going to get into comparing them to the stuff that I love, and then finally trying to compare the Cali76 stacked and the Empress to see which one's going to go on my board. And we are back. Hopefully that is the last camera change for today. We have been talking about these two guys, right? They're less expensive, and they're more affordable. They are easier to use. That might be what you are looking for in a compressor. What I am looking for in a compressor is a lot of tweakability, and you can see on this side of the board, 6 knobs each, 2 switches on the Empress, no switches on the Origin effects. Those are super high quality compressors. They sound great, and I'm excited to dive into them. So what we got going on here is this. I preferred the orange guy, so let's just use him as a comparison. Right? And I think it's the orange guy. I have not looked it up, so I don't know. Here's the Cali76. Back to this guy. Back to the Cali. sounds amazing. Now it's brighter, so maybe let's compare it to the SP real quick. I mean, to me, it's no comparison. It's livelier. It's got all the high end that I want from the SP, but it's got the body from this, and then it also has a more breathability. It's breathing more. It's doing more of what I want it to do. It's maintaining dynamics. It's more fun to play. To me, it's already night and day. So I'm going to use these three now. We've got that. At least to me, this sounds night and day better than these two. To me. If you're upset, if you're offended, if you want, look, it's apples and oranges. This is like a $400 compressor, and this is like a $150 compressor. I think this kit's like $80 or something. I don't know. I'll put them up on there. But the idea is like we're comparing. It's like comparing a Lamborghini and a Hyundai. It's like, yo, the Hyundai is not as fast, and you're like, well, yeah, it's not the same thing. So, Cali76 sounds amazing. And again, I have it set the way I would have it set. You can see that the dry knob is up a little bit. I've got a little bit of dry signal in there. The same is true on the Cali76 stacked, and the same is true on the Empress. So, right, and then you can see how much compression's happening with this little light right here. And nice and big and syrupy. Let's compare it to the Cali76 stacked edition. Now, this is two compressors stacked together. This is actually two 1176s. You have the attack and sustain knob set similarly, and then you can control, or there's two of them, right? So you turn it up, it reduces the attack speed and the release speed maybe, or whatever. I don't know. I didn't read the manual. I turned them until it sounded good. And then the gold knob is a through control. So you can control how much volume is hitting the second compressor. But I have them kind of both set similarly. That's where I ended up as just having the most fun sonically. I really love the way that works. It's really lovely. Let's compare the two within the context of a track. They're both lovely. I think the high end from the Cali76 allows me to cut a little more. I don't know that I would necessarily want that. I'd probably want to be boosting. But they're both great. But I think I prefer the stacked edition. Let's try something. Let's. I like it where it was. I like it kind of where it was before. Yeah. So anyway, whatever. We're hearing some differences, right? So those are the two Cali76s. But really, I think I prefer this one. They sound very different, and I think obviously depending on context, it would depend on what I'm doing too. Is it for rhythm? Is it for lead? Is it for this? Is it for that? We're working in a very specific context today. This is one of the joys of having multiple tools. It's already a super long video, but let's look at the compressor. Let's look at the Empress versus the Cali76, because the Empress is the one that I've had on my board for quite a while. And that being said, I've always loved the Cali76 as well. And if I was going to compare them, I would say, because I did this comparison before I built my first board, that the Empress is a little more see-through, transparent. I know words. And the Cali76 is a little bit kind of more buttery, a little more syrupy, a little more smooth. The original. Now, I got this one in the mail not too long ago, and as soon as I plugged it in, I went, oh, I love that. And I wanted to do this video to compare. Fix the camera angle. I wanted to do this video to compare the two. So, Empress Mark II. Kind of how I have it set when if I was going to be playing, and then. And I can hear, I mean, there's so much more compression going on the Cali76. So let's up our compression on the Empress. Yeah, it's wildly different, which is great. I'm going to tell you right now that I prefer the Empress less compressed. I prefer the Cali76 more compressed. So remember, to get less compression, I'm going to reduce my input, right, and then increase my output to compensate. I was overcompensating. Used to that. So I'm going to tell you, I have a telly here. I was going to put it in the video. I'm not going to. I think the 76 is going to go on my board. And let's put them in context of the track. But the reason is really this, is that I think that for a lot of rhythm stuff, I would probably go to the Empress. But for the most part, when I'm compressing, I'm not playing. I am the star of the show at that point. Whether I'm playing clean lead parts or I'm playing clean rhythm parts where I want to be up front, so I'm going to be louder. And so the Empress is really transparent, really great at just smoothing everything out and not adding character, which is amazing. I like the character of the 76 for the context of me as a lap steel player, as the star of the show. That's a lot of stuff to consider. in context, at least again, in the context of I'm the star of the show, I prefer the Cali76. After this video, that'll be the one going on my board. The Empress is a phenomenal compressor, and I will use it for recording all the time because I think that transparency really lends itself to a lot of stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm looking for character from me when I'm sitting in front of 2 to 5 people in a dive bar. There we go. Listen, thank you for hanging. I hope that this was informative. I hope that this helped you pick what compressors you're looking for, or at least helped you understand how compressors work. Join me on Patreon. I might actually try to do some giveaways and stuff. If I can get enough people over there, we'll give away some pedals and all that kind of stuff. So join me there. Yeah, the link is in the description below. Subscribe and bell icon and share and comment and all the stuff that helps me end up in more feeds. And thank you for hanging out. I really appreciate you.